rise up in the morning beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. They'll get your ass moving some with burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burnin' Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, howdy there, daylight burners. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good week. Sorry I didn't put out much anything last week. We had, between the holiday and everything, and then a bunch of sick people. Like, everybody got sick. It seemed like my sister-in-law was, like, the week, like, leading up to Thanksgiving week. She got kind of feeling puny. And then my wife got to feeling kind of puny. And then my little boy. And then me, and then my little girl, and so we spent basically all of that Thanksgiving break that they had. You know, if you work a real job, you'll know that you don't get the week of Thanksgiving off. If you work a normal job, you get Thanksgiving off and probably a 3-day weekend. If you work with animals, you just work with animals, I guess. And but that's the name of the game, I guess. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna bitch about it. That's what you do. That's all you can do. So have fun with it while you bitch about it. I technically did not miss any work. Or I did not miss a day of work. I went home early a couple days, but I didn't ever miss work. But I was running just enough of a fever to make you feel like hell and get the chills real bad. But also like not the deep enough chills to where you can bundle up a whole bunch and you know, but if you bundled up too much, then you were really, really sweating. But that, sweating out a fever is good. So anyway, it sucked. I'm not worth a shit when I got a fever. So I ducked out as soon as I could when I was running a temperature and, tried to get as much shit done as I could before I passed it off to somebody else. But either way, it wasn't that fun of a week, to tell you the truth. I mean, it wasn't bad. It could always be worse, but it wasn't all that fun, I guess. It just, it was busy and you felt tired and shitty, kind of all, and we didn't do, because of that, we kind of canceled our big Thanksgiving dinner and just there no. See, this is how like normal people before the Roni and Trump and everything broke people's brains, people used to act like this, like, hey, like I'm like devastated that we are not going to do our Thanksgiving dinner. It fucking sucks. We've been looking, it's like you look forward to that all year. Thanksgiving's a big deal, and I like Thanksgiving. I'm not a big on holidays in general, but I really like Thanksgiving a lot. And yeah, and my wife and my sister-in-law, and like it was shaping up to be like a pretty big thing, and I was not particularly looking forward to it because you know how the women get when people are coming over and they're coordinating a big meal and whatnot, and they get a little on edge, and then all of a sudden that, like, just none of that came to fruition. You're just like, well, shit, that kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? Like, or you could just roll on through and get everybody else sick and spread that onto how, because we had people coming in from out of town, and it's it was one of the risks that we took when we went back to my dad's place for Thanksgiving during, in 2020 during the middle of the Rona. But in this case, where like then we didn't know if we had it or not. We were just going. Nobody. My wife kind of got sick going down there, but it. I don't know if it was the Rona or not, because she got Rona after that before. So who knows? But like there wasn't a thought of like the sickness, because nobody was sick at the time. We were just like, we're going. And then like kind of on the way, my wife started feeling kind of shitty, and then we're like, well, I mean, we're not turning back now, because we were more than halfway, I believe. And and then so like this year we already knew we were sick, and the other girls, other part of our clan here in town had already on the other side of this deal, but there was other people coming in from out of town. So like, yeah, you don't get other people sick, so you just like, it sucks and you cancel it. Like that's how people used to think, as far as I can remember. We never really stopped thinking like that around here. And with my family, and everything, that's just kind of common sense kind of prevails, I guess, for the most part. And it seemed like it sure used to. And I hate to sound like back in my day, but I like literally like right before the pandemic, that should have been like a commonplace thing, and it kind of was, that you just like, oh, if you're sick, stay home, or don't throw the party, cancel the party if you were planning one when you get sick, so you don't just get a whole bunch of other people sick. It was pretty common sense. But then we had to be told to not, get people sick, and the whole the whole shit show that commenced after that. Anyhow, it was all it was I guess, long story short, it was not a fun week in particular, but that being said, there was a lot to be thankful for, and it's been a pretty good year considering, and and I know I do a lot of bitching about the state of the world, and a lot of doom and gloom sometimes. I try not to sound like that, but I just kind of call it as I see it. And I don't know, it's one of those things where I I try not to be a downer on the outlook on the world, but it's hard not to be sometimes. But then when you really step back and like turn off like all the current events and the news and what they're trying to get Trump on this time, and on all of that, and just like focus in on what happened, internally, and a lot of times you're like, hey, that's been a pretty all right year, just go ahead and embrace that, and just know that there's a bunch of shit to be thankful for. First and foremost, I'm thankful for my wife and my two kids. They're awesome. Having kids is just so wild, watching how little bitty version of yourself, but not exactly like you. They're very similar, but not exactly the same. And it's really just fascinating. And I don't know that once you have kids, I know everybody, it's real cliches. Like, you don't know until you have kids, but like, you hit a different level of love once you see those little fuckers. And I don't know. I'm sure happy and thankful for mine. You know, my wife is a really really brilliant woman, and hilarious, and just she's kind of a hottie too. So that always helps as well. But she is really really a good woman. Puts up a lot of bullshit for me, and I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for it. Second of all, I am thankful for what I do to make a living. Like I get to claim the title of cowboy, and do not a whole lot of the real sure enough, like hard cowboy shit. Like I don't have to go pull cows off the mountain. I don't have to I don't have to cab out in the middle of February, but I do got to go ride through them in feedlot pens. So I mean, I get a lot of the non-glamorous part of cowboy life, but it is cowboy life nonetheless. And I really enjoy what I do. There's times where I'd rather be outside in the open and doing that shit, but also I know what that pays, and the gig I got now pays better, so I can go help people do that on my free time, and I'm fine with that. So either way, it's a good gig, and I'm really thankful for it. My boss treats me really well. The company treats me really well. And I, in turn, try to do the best job that I can do, because I understand it's a pretty sweet gig. And it's the beauty of the free market is I'm always trying to do as little as I can for as much money as possible. And the company's always trying to get as much from me for as little as possible, and it's all part of the game. And once you find a happy balance, life is pretty good. And sometimes that doesn't work out. Sometimes there's companies that don't find that balance, and sometimes there are companies that do, but then they can't pay you. And and so I think it's Thomas Sowell, the black economist, that said there are no solutions in life. There's only trade-offs. And he was saying that from an economic standpoint, but also just to mean it as kind of just a rule of thumb for everything in life. There are no solutions. There's only trade-offs, and as one of the things with feedlots, you get a little steadier paycheck. You get a little better paycheck for the most part, with the benefits and whatnot. But you get the least glamorous part of cowboy life, and on the ranch stuff, you get the most glamorous part of cowboy life, riding the range, that whole deal, just the traditional view of cowboy life. But the trade-off is you don't pay all that well for the most part, and for the most part it can't pay very well, because if it did, then the home place would go out of business. And so by necessity it can't. And trade-offs, and I think it's a very wise statement by Thomas Sowell. So anyways, I'm very thankful for this gig that I've got here in Smith Valley, Nevada. I really enjoy this community. I'm very thankful to live in a community like this. And I will always live in a community like this, whether it's in Nevada or Kansas or Colorado, Montana, wherever I end up, it'll be in a community like this one way or another. And like this, I mean, very small, very rural, and salt of the earth type people that that are they're good neighbors. You know, they mind their business until it's time not to. You know, and when it's time not to, you lend a hand. Everybody lends a hand, and you mind your business and you keep a good community. You help your neighbors and but also by helping your neighbors, you keep your fence tight. You know, it's still Robert Frost. Good fences make good neighbors, and it's the kind of community I was raised in, and I've had plenty of chances to live in. You know, like I had plenty of job offers up and down the Front Range of, I wouldn't say offers, but job opportunities. But that meant living in a more urban type of setting, and that wasn't for me. I just never could see myself in a, you know, after college. I could never see myself in that type of situation, and I've never looked back. When I left Fort Collins, I went back to south of Walsh, Colorado. Walsh being about maybe 500 people in the town and the mailing district, all told, maybe 500. Moved up to Big Sandy, Montana after that. That was maybe 500 people, probably about the same size as Walsh. Moved back to La Junta, Colorado, which is slightly bigger, but I don't know, maybe 20,000, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. And Ulysses, Kansas, that's about, I don't know, 8,000 maybe. Syracuse was 1,500 about. And here's about 1,500. So that's my speed. That's what I like. I like going to see people in the city every now and then. I like what the city has to offer, but I don't want to live there. It's a pretty cool place to go visit, and there's a lot of cool people that live there. The key word is lot and people. Like there's some, you know, lot of cool people, but still lot of people. You could drop the cool and just, leave it at that. There's a lot of people. And I don't do well with a lot of people for extended periods of time. I do all right at a big show or something, but I do all right visiting the city for a weekend or so. But much more than that, I get a little claustrophobic, and gotta start seeing some sunsets. You know, sunrises, sunsets, and not as many people. The folks across the street that bought the lot across the street from us, lot being like 5 acres, they're slowly but surely building on it. But coming out of California, and I waved at them, and I like waving at people. I really do. I'm also thankful to live in this community because I wave at people as you go down the road. I waved at the neighbor, really wishing that I didn't have to wave at him, because I wished he wasn't there. Nothing against the guy. I just, I don't want somebody directly across the road from me. You know, I get a little hemmed in, it feels like. And as much as I love this valley, it is growing up a little bit. So anyway, it's something to keep an eye on, but I'm still thankful to live here. The Burnin' Daylight crew, all of you folks that have listened throughout the years and continue to chop it up with me on social media, and that keep downloading this goofy shit all the time. I'm super thankful for you. I think there is an opportunity with this deal to turn it into something that I might be able to make a little bit of money at it, and kind of set me a little bit on the path of just being free from the normal job situation. Be able to work a little bit more on my own terms, and And I think there's a good opportunity to do that with this show. I'm very thankful that folks like you keep tuning in and supporting, signing up on Patreon, patreon.com/burning It's where all the live streams are nowadays. And you get the shows a little bit early, you get them ad free, and that's how you help out the show and help me do some cooler shit. Already been able to do some cool shit, but I'll be able to do some more, and I'll be able to get out on the road a little bit more and meet some people that I might not and hopefully get up people on the show that I might not otherwise be able to. So anyways, I'm thankful for everybody that continues to support this deal and help me grow in my, and get to my ultimate goal of just doing this for a living and day working on the side, because I like to go punch cows. I'm also thankful for my health. I've been visiting with Boots quite a bit here lately, more than I actually had. With him being laid up in the hospital, I figure he could probably use some company from time to time. So I try to check in on him, and I'm thankful for that being able to get to know Boots and become friends with him. He's quite the character. I've I've been very fortunate to have quite a few good male role models throughout my life. I like quite a few, and they've each had their impact. My dad, Wes McKinley. He's I think you guys kind of see how I get my some of my sense of humor and way of thinking. But Clint Mandell's dad had a big impact on me, and Boots as well. There's I don't know. There's just been more than a handful of strong male role models in my life, and that's that's more than a lot of kids can say. And so I'm thankful for that a lot. And anybody who has a good male role model in their life, you should be thankful for that too, because boy, you can kind of see what happens when kids don't have a good strong male role model. Shit doesn't turn out well. It really doesn't. So yeah, if you got a good dad or a good male role model, be thankful for that, because I sure am. I've got, like I said, I've got several growing up, and as and just living through life, there's been several guys that I as I've been an adult that I really look up to, and yeah, it's a good thing to have, and so be thankful for it. If you got a good wife, be thankful for that too. It's good wife will keep you in check, but also stand beside you. And my wife sure is a good one. I know I'm starting to ramble, but that's what I'm known for, right? I'm a rambler. It's been a really weird, really this whole time since I started podcasting, shit got weird. When I started in 2019, things were kind of still somewhat normal, but it was like Trump normal. And then 2020 hit and everything went really haywire, and we're still kind of, I don't know. It's been it's been one of the greater times in history to document from a comedy standpoint, I think, but it's been wild, been really crazy this whole time that I've been doing this little cowboy podcast. But I'm thankful that we've made it through it all. For the most part, it's been awful for a lot of people, and it's just, you have to look at it through through the lens of like how many people lost businesses, how many people died over this deal, how many people got their lungs blown out on a ventilator because they didn't know shit, and you're like, I for the most part I'm not too much worse for the wear. So I've got a lot to be thankful for. I mean, I've got a lot to be thankful for just living here in the United States, and I feel bad for those fuckers up in Canada. But also I'm thankful that we are surrounded by two oceans and a bunch of pussies to the north. And no offense, Canada, but like, yeah, your government's a bunch of pussies. They ain't gonna do shit if we if we decided to just roll on through there. I don't think much would we would see much resistance. Maybe I could be wrong, but I don't know. The feeling I get is there'd be a lot of people, particularly from Western Canada, just joining us. But anyhow, that's all hypothetical. That is that's more fantasy because it's yeah. Anyways, that being said, I'm really glad like I'm not Ukraine. I'm really glad that I was born here in the United States of America, and as fucked up as a lot of our foreign policy is and continues to be, and and as bad as that this stuff is over in Ukraine, the closer we get to a nuclear war is really unsettling. I'm still really glad we're over here, not over there. I know they can hit us from anywhere, but we can hit them from anywhere too. And I'm not so much worried on the nuclear end quite as much. I'm still a little worried about it, but if it does come to like a World War II style war where there's like it's being fought in Europe and it's there's gonna be a lot of troops sent over there, but I don't see much action on this front. I think we're pretty good over here for the most part. Yeah, like they could hit us with some drone stuff, but like as far as like an invasion and occupation, good luck. Good luck. I think we're all right. We're good for a while. So, I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that we live in a world where a guy with oodles of billions of dollars can just decide to buy Twitter, the worldwide town square, just to say like, hey, I don't like how it's being run as a public company. I will give you $44 billion for it, and I'm going to run it my way and make it fun immediately. And it seems like I'm glad we live in a country that is developed, that's built on, no matter how far we've got away from it, it was built on the spirit of the First Amendment, which is free speech. Like I know that free speech, the First Amendment technically by the letter of the law pertains to government restriction on speech, laws that prohibit your speech. But the spirit of the First Amendment should trickle down to the people as well. It's just like that's how we live our lives. Is as long as you are not inciting violence, as long as you're not causing somebody, financial harm with your words, particularly if it's untrue, But outside of that, outside of causing direct harm, you should be able to say what you want without fear of like being canceled or thrown in jail. But like, should you be free from backlash? Absolutely not. Like, you should be able to respect the consequences that come with your freedom of speech. Like, there might be people that decide, like, hey, you're not going to work here anymore. I don't like that. That's, I mean, that they're dangerous freedom is better than, I guess, secure, I guess, but dangerous freedom is better than safe security. I would rather live free and take that little bit of risk, the little bit of danger that comes with it, as opposed to just having everything be completely safe, but safe and secure, but you don't have any of the joy that comes with the risk and danger in life. Like, there's people like they'll never jump off a cliff into a lake or something like that, or go zip lining, or whatever it is. Never just go throw $20 on roulette and say, like, shit, what's the worst? I'm out $20, but let's see. I don't know, just for the hell of it. Maybe it's not a good habit to get into, but it's kind of fun every now and then, just to have a little thrill and enjoy life, and embrace some of the risk that comes with it, because without risk, there's no, the reward's not very good. And if you gotta risk a bunch of stuff to get something, like, boy, it tastes pretty sweet when you get there. It's kind of like that first time you swing a leg over a horse, young horse, and you're just like, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen here. There's that brief little moment before your ass hits the saddle and everything's real still, and sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes all hell breaks loose, but you never really know that first time. You're just like, as you're sitting down, it could go haywire, it could not. And there's a lot of people that'll never know that feeling. But when you have that little bit of risk, and say he does blow in two, you get him covered, or he bucks you off even, but you get back on him, and you work on him, and then, like, later on down the line, and they turn into a nice horse, like, was that getting bucked off worth it? Probably, unless he really buggered you up bad. But was him throwing a fit worth it? Yeah, obviously. Like, now he's a pretty good horse now. So, like, all the risk was worth it. Sometimes that risk doesn't pay off, and that horse is just a puke. But that's life. I mean, you can spend $80,000 on a pickup, and it'll shit you right off the lot. Like, sometimes that happens. You get a lemon. They're supposed to, fix that for you, but a lemon's a lemon. They can keep trying to fix it, and it'll work for a little while. But a lemon's a lemon, and eventually they're just gonna have to get a different one, and hopefully you don't just lose out completely on the other end. But shit like that happens. So, like, whether you want to or not, the risk in life is there, and you might as well just embrace it a little bit and just know that it's there and learn how to deal with it. Like, that's the road. You never know what the road's going to be. Sometimes the road's big, wide, smooth, easy to go, or then you can get a Nevada 2-track, which is a lot different than a High Plains 2-track. A lot different. It's a little rougher, a little rockier. There's a reason why all these yokels have a lift on their pickup, just for the clearance. It gets pretty brushy, pretty rocky, and pretty rough. Well, that's just how it is, though. You never know what the road's going to be, so be prepared for a shitty one. Know how to drive on a shitty road. That's a good skill in life, and it's a good metaphor for life. Learn how to drive on a shitty road. There's an old song. I think it's just kind of a finger picking song, but it's called 40 Miles of Bad Road. And I don't know. I guess I'm that'd be another thing I'm thankful for. I grew up on shitty roads, and so also it's one of those things that once I found some real shitty roads out here in Nevada, realized how thankful I should have been to. Like, I had pretty good roads, comparatively, and but also they weren't so good that I didn't know how to handle a vehicle on crappy roads. It's just there's a lot of things you learn about not growing up with a lot that makes you a little bit more equipped for the road ahead. And so that being said, like I didn't have a great childhood, but it sure as hell prepared me for how shitty life can be. And so I don't know, made me a lot more easygoing person. Also made me a lot less tolerant of bullshit. Like I don't get mad at a lot. I just don't deal with bullshit for the most part. I'm not. I don't even need to call it out. I just don't put up with it. I just don't deal with it. And I've been, I guess, pretty decent at just removing myself from a situation that I don't need to be in. And I don't know. And part of that's just comes from not a great childhood. And there's just stuff you can't dwell on, and you can't focus on it, or it'll just eat you alive. And so you kind of roll with the punches. And I'm thankful for being able to do that. It's not always the best thing, but I think by and large it's treated me. It served me pretty well, I suppose. And no, it I don't know. I guess I've always had that kind of mentality that is like, I know I haven't had the best, the easiest of lives, but I know I've far from had it the worst. You can always look back. It was one thing that it was pretty unique through youth group and stuff. Some of the devotionals and the the sermons and whatnot, is a lot of it was pointing out like the martyrs of the day and how the early Christian church was really persecuted, and it was always a good reminder, like things can get a lot worse, and so that's one real easy way to just be like, yeah, I'm really glad didn't live there. Like I'm really, really fucking glad that I don't live in Ukraine or Russia right now. Like really fucking glad. And I'm very thankful for that. So I don't know. I know coming up on 40 minutes here. So yeah, I just there's a lot to be thankful for, and I say a lot of stupid shit. Like I'm thankful that Kanye asked Trump to be his vice presidential candidate in 2024. At least that's the way I understood it, according to Ye's video on Twitter. And as much as I want that to be a real thing, I also don't, because I know like this is the real world, and it's real serious business, and I would like serious people to be in charge, like serious, not evil people to be in charge. But in the meantime, we've got both non-serious and evil people in charge, or some combination of both. It's a and or situation there. And so if that's the case, I mean, we might as well have Kanye and Donald Trump. I mean, what it'd be hilarious. It would be really hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird world that we live in, but when you stop focusing on what the noise is and just kind of think about your own individual life. If you live in the United States of America, shit's pretty good. You know, even if you live in Canada, it's getting worse up there for sure, but shit's pretty good, right? It's not Ukraine. It's not Russia. It's not Europe at all, even, you know, and even Europe, not bad compared to Ukraine. Like, Russia pretty much shut out the lights there in Ukraine here lately. So, yeah, be thankful you're not over there. That would suck. It would really suck. So, anyways, I think that's all I got for you. You know, it's been a hell of a week. Haven't felt great, but we're doing better, like on the mend, and the show must go on. So appreciate you sticking with me through the little hiatus. But hey, it was Thanksgiving week anyway, so kind of standard for most podcasts to not do much. So anyways, we're back at it in full force. We're gonna be gearing up for the Elko show. So if you got anybody out there that would like to donate some handmade goods to a raffle for to raise to pay these artists that I'm gonna have there at Elko, please get in touch with me. Either send me a DM on social media, or you can email me, Matt at burnin-daylight.com. It's burnin-daylight.com. Matt at burnin-daylight.com. Please go join the Patreon if you haven't already. It's the best way to support the show at the moment. I'm going to try to get some merch online here pretty soon, but I'm not a good merch guy. But anyways, for right now, Patreon's the best way to support the show, or you can, I guess, on Spotify as well. Spotify, there's paid episodes on there. Same stuff as Patreon. They just but it's on Spotify instead. It's $4.99 a month. So, anyways, best way to help me out, and be thankful for what you got. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and we got NFR coming up this week. We're gonna do a watch along Thursday night, the live on Patreon, and I'm not sure who all we got going on, but we're gonna do it up. So and I've checked it out, and it does work. Be able to just stream it on here and have a couple guests with me to help commentate. So it'll be a fun time. Looking forward to it. So on that note, move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Up in the morning, beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right.